Hey ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 5 to What If Naruto Was Scorpion. In the last part we went off, or where we left off, we went through a lot of the later things in Naruto Shippuden up until the 4th Great Shinobi World War and everything like that. So, without further ado, let's get started. So with the war being started, there's absolutely no way they're going to be able to send Naruto off just because he wouldn't let them. He's insanely smart, like I said, so he would know about the war, the upcoming war, and how inevitable it actually would be. So he's like, yeah, are you guys trying to send me off because of the war? And they're like, no. So basically, they're not going to be able to send Naruto off just because of his, like he's too smart for them to not. He knows exactly what they're trying to do, basically, and he's not exactly going to just allow them to be send him off somewhere. So they're like, fine, whatever. You can do whatever. So he's like, okay. So the war actually like legitimately begins, and it would be pretty much the same like general people fighting with like Kabuto and everything like that because Sasuke still ended up going to Orochimaru and he did kill him after a while. So Kabuto would still basically do all the things he did. So yeah, that still ends up happening. So the Edo Tensei and everything like that is still going to remain the same as well as like all the white Zetsu and different things like that. So just figured I'd mention that. So Naruto and everybody else would begin their battles with all the Edo Tensei and everything like that, and basically just sealing them away. But they couldn't really do anything about the white Zetsu just because like they like regenerate and different things like that. And the only reason they were really easily able to defeat them in the original is just because Naruto was there to basically turn them into wood, and he could sense the malice intent that they actually had. So them transforming is going to be a little bit of an issue unless Naruto basically befriends Kurama, because he still does have Kurama inside of him. But I guess I never really mentioned that. I don't know if I did or not. I don't know. But yeah, that doesn't really matter because as of right now, he doesn't really do anything with Kurama. He knows he's there and he's talked to him a few times. And Kurama doesn't like hate Naruto just because like he's not this annoying little kid. He knows that Naruto really isn't actually from this world just by like reading his mind and different things like that. So Kurama isn't obviously like friends with Naruto at this point, but he's not like hating him like he did in the original. So with that being said, I'm debating honestly just giving him friendship so he can be like Kurama or something like that, and then all of a sudden he's like in fucking KCM2 kind of shits. Like, I don't know. I'm debating it. Just because like that'd be pretty funny if it was. Like, I mean, I don't know. Because think about how OP he would be then. Because like, damn, he'd be really OP. Like, really OP. But whatever, we'll do that later. So they end up sealing away all of like the Zetsus and everything like that. And Kabuto would still end up, or not Kabuto, whatever Kabuto's summon would use the Edo Tensei to summon Madara. Madara would then proceed to absolutely decimate the people he was fighting, and Naruto's Shadow Clone at this point, because again, he still learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu, would be like, damn. Like, damn, that thing's pretty strong. And all the 5 Kage would end up fighting it, and they'd basically just tell Naruto's clone to, you know, go and fight the other Madara on the other battlefield. So the Shadow Clone poofs itself, Naruto gains that memory, and he ends up going over there to fight the other Madara, not the real Madara, but fight Obito. So he would end up going over there, and along the way, he's talking to the Nine Tails. Just because I don't think he's going, or I feel like would be necessary for him to actually gain some of the power from it, as well as the fact that it isn't unlikely that Kurama would actually kind of gain a little bit more of a liking towards this version of Naruto, just because of his like dark personality, I guess you could say. So along the way, he's talking to the Nine Tails, and he asks for Kurama's name. Kurama obviously just is like, my name's Kurama, or yeah, whatever. Whatever you want. I don't even, is it Kurama or whatever? I don't know what it's called. Whatever it is. And Naruto's like, okay. And they start talking a little bit more, and Naruto actually does. I'm gonna say he has the key from Jiraiya, and he undoes the seal. And as he's running along the little pathway, basically heading towards where Obito is, or who they think is Madara, or who they think is a weird copy version of Madara. I don't know exactly what it is. Whoever they think this other person is, basically. He starts heading over there, and as he's running, he enters KCM 2, just because he undid the seal, and Kurama basically was showing him some of his power. Naruto is like, whoa, this is cool. I'm like a lot stronger than what I used to be. This is gonna be fun. He's like, okay, I can work with this. I can work with this. Yeah. He's liking exactly what's happening right now, just because like, damn, he's gonna be really overpowered. So they'd continue, or not they, well, kind of they, Kurama and Naruto would end up continuing on until they found where this weird copy version of Madara was. And they would begin fighting him, and Naruto would quickly learn about the Kamui dimension, and realizing that he kind of has to basically, he could become intangible, but for him to actually touch Naruto, he has to actually like not be intangible. So Naruto would use this to his advantage, kind of like how Minato did, and he would form a Rasengan, and he would be charging towards him now, and he would basically put it through him, and as soon as Obito tried to like grab Naruto and like suck him into a Kamui dimension, Naruto would teleport behind him and shove his hand down onto Obito's back, and he would use a absolutely massive, basically, flame, which is like, how hot should this flame be? It basically like scrolls through a bunch of different colors before settling on basically a white flame that like, and this flame almost completely like incinerates Obito. He manages to teleport into his Kamui dimension just in time, but this like literally almost kills him. Like the only reason he's alive still is because of his Hashirama cells. Like that's literally the only reason he's still alive, and he's like, God damn, that kid is strong. So Naruto would just be thinking he completely like fucking vaporized that kid or that guy, and he'd just like kind of walk away. Eventually, when Obito would pop out of his Kamui dimension, and he'd see that Naruto was gone, and he'd be like, God damn, that bitch is strong. He'd be like, holy shit. Like, he's astonished by the strength that that person, like, just had. Like, because, again, Naruto was in base form when he did that. Think about that. Like, think about how much more powerful he can be when he enters KCM. Like, damn. Just damn. Like, he's strong now, kind of a thing. So Obito would go and he'd find Madara, and they would end up summoning the actual Ten Tails. Because they didn't really need the Nine Tails chakra to actually summon it, it just kind of like would have made it like a lot stronger if they did. So it's kind of like they don't really need it, but whatever. So the Ten Tails gets actually summoned, and then Naruto sees that Obito is back, and he's like, bruh, I thought I fucking killed you. What, how are you still here? And Obito would be like, oh, I managed to escape literally in like the nick of time, dude. You legit almost fucking killed me, you bitch. Like, he's not exactly happy right now. He's like, yeah, Madara, that's the one that almost killed me, so yeah, good luck. And Madara's like, that one, eh? Then is he the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki? He can basically sense Kurama inside of him, and he'd be like, Obito would be like, yeah, he's that one. Yeah. Madara might actually already know, but I don't know for a fact. So Obito would still end up taking Kakashi into the Kamui dimension, getting the little seal on his heart removed before teleporting back to the normal dimension and becoming the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki after breaking the seal on his heart. So he becomes the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki, and this is gonna be hard. Because I don't think I ever taught Naruto Sage Mode, so this is going to be a little bit, this is going to be slightly difficult for them. Actually, it might not be, because he can nullify all ninjutsu, but Scorpion's fire is like, it's not actually like ninjutsu, it's legit just fire. Like, he controls fire. Like, he's not like he's not making it out of chakra or anything like that. So I don't know exactly how that would affect with Obito's, like, whatever you want, like, basically ninjutsu nullification kind of a thing, because like fire, or like fire style is generally like created inside of the Naruto or like created with chakra in the Naruto universe, but he's like creating like literal like fire. He's not just like manipulating chakra to create heat and different things like that. He's like, this is a legit like fire, I guess you could say. So I don't know. I'm just gonna say it does work, just because otherwise they stand absolutely no chance against Obito, because what are they, or Jubito, I guess you could say, because otherwise what the hell are they gonna do? Like, the only people who would be anywhere near strong enough to take him on would be the reanimated Kage, but they're not even there yet. Like, Sasuke still hasn't showed up at the battlefield yet, so they're not even there. And even if they were there, they still weren't enough to take him on or take him down in the first place. So Naruto's like, okay, whatever, we'll see if my flame works. And I'm just gonna say that it does end up working. And Naruto can basically just, he uses like 5 times the heat he used on Obito in the first place, and he charges at him now. And Obito, for some reason, when he's in Jubito, can't actually end up using Kamui, and this is like imperfect to Jubito. Like, he hasn't like mastered or taken perfect control over the Ten Tails or anything like that yet. So Naruto would teleport over, and he would basically just be like, I'll see you later, and he would place his hand on Jubito's back, and he would be about to use the flame, but Jubito would jump back, actually managing to outspeed Naruto right now. And Naruto's like, oh, you're a little bit faster now, I see. And he would activate KCM. He would charge at Obito now, and actually be around the same speed as him, just because like his base speed was above, like way above Obito's base speed. And the Nine Tails, I'm pretty sure, is like a third or half of the Ten Tails' power, but I don't actually know. But whatever. So he's actually around the same speed as Jubito. Maybe Jubito would be slightly faster than him, but it wouldn't be enough considering Naruto can teleport now. So Naruto would teleport over. He'd basically just be behind Jubito right now, and Jubito would be facing towards where Naruto used to be, and then he would feel a hand touch his back, and he'd be like, shit, before feeling an immense amount of heat from behind him. That would basically turn him into, well, it wouldn't turn him into ashes, I guess you could say. But this is where Madara sees his chance, and he basically comes over, taking control over Obito, undoing whatever Obito ended up doing, and making him use the Rene Rebirth onto Madara. So now he takes one of the Renegon that Obito actually ended up having, and he's like, okay. And he is now the Ten Tails Jinchuriki. So Naruto would be like, okay, this guy's stronger than what Obito was, and he'd instantly activate KCM2, and he would charge at Madara. Madara would be like, he'd be surprised by the speed, and he'd be like, oh, you're pretty fast. And they would basically begin fighting with Taijutsu, and this actually does work on the Ten Tails Jinchuriki like Taijutsu does. It's just not ninjutsu. So he'd actually begin fighting with this Ten Tails Jinchuriki Madara, and I don't know, like, Naruto's just way too OP. Like, why is he being, like, he's able to fight, like, one-on-one with these insanely OP characters. Like, this is just stupid. Whatever. Actually, no, it's not stupid. I usually ended up making really overpowered Naruto, so it's whatever. So, they continue on with their fight, but Naruto, like, he's not fighting, like, they're about even in terms of physical strength, speed, and everything like that, and abilities. However, Madara has the more chakra, or, like, basically endless power, I guess you could say. As well, it's the fact that he has absurd regeneration abilities that Naruto just simply doesn't have. So Naruto would actually begin to lose this fight, and he'd be on the ground almost dead. This is where Sasuke would show up, but Sasuke at this point, he's strong, but he's not anywhere near strong enough to take down Ten Tails Madara. So he'd be about to kill him, but Sasuke would basically jump in, taking a blow, but literally almost getting killed by this one attack, and he'd basically be on the floor almost dead, like unconscious, like, he's basically fucked right now. So Naruto is inside of his little mindscape, and he's talking to Hagoromo. So, as everybody can guess, what's going to happen right now is Naruto is going to get the Ashura half of, or the half of Hagoromo's basically power and chakra, whatever you want to call it. So he gains that immense amounts of power, and he begins to fight. He basically wakes up. He begins to fight with Madara again. Sasuke also gets this power just because he was almost fucking dead at this point. And Naruto's like, okay, whatever. This might be enough now. Activating his Sage of Six Paths chakra, not chakra mode, Sage of Six Paths mode. He charges at Madara now, and he is easily, like, it's not even a challenge anymore. Like, he is easily taking him down. Black Zetsu would be like, okay, take the other Rinnegan. Now absorb the World Tree. Now, like, do all these different things, and Madara would eventually activate the Rinne Sharingan, but it still wouldn't be enough to defeat this really overpowered version of Naruto. Black Zetsu would stab him in the back, creating Kaguya, but even Kaguya would not be enough to defeat this version of Naruto just because of how simply overpowered he is at this point. So, he infuses his Sage of Six Paths mode with his QB mode, because he hadn't actually done that, not seeing it necessary, and he gains another massive power boost, and he easily takes down Kaguya as well. They don't even have to seal her, they just straight up fucking kill her. So with that, they undo the Infinite Tsukuyomi, because I'm pretty sure that was done, I think. I don't know. If it was done, he and Sasuke undo it, and they have their fight still. Naruto would obviously easily win this fight with really no difficulty whatsoever, and they return back to the village, and things go fairly normally from there on out. Things of the last would remain pretty much normal. They would defeat Toneri with relative ease, and things like that go normally, like I said. But that's where this part's, or not really this part, but this what if is going to end, because again, I'm not going into Boruto. So peace out, guys, later.